Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into something fascinating, this idea of a hidden, almost like creative engine inside your own mind.
An engine powerful enough, supposedly, to actually manufacture success, wealth, health, you name it.
Right. And you know how some people just seem lucky
hmm
or always abundant?
Yeah.
Well, our source material today suggests it's not luck at all.
No, it's about mastering something specific, this internal force we call the subconscious mind.
So that's our mission today. We're doing a deep dive into the work of Joseph Murphy. He was writing mid-20th century, distilling these sort of ancient ideas.
Metaphysical concepts, spiritual principles.
Right.
But he aimed to make them practical, like an operating manual for, as he put it, the man on the street.
And that's what we want to extract, right? The actual how-to. The mechanism itself may be separate from the broader philosophy if we can.
Yeah, and that separation is really key. Murphy stressed this again and again. This power works independently of any specific religion.
Even though he uses terms like divine intelligence.
Exactly, or living spirit within. But for him, fundamentally, it's a universal principle. It's impartial. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't care what you ask for. It just operates based on these fixed laws. Impartial, that's a great word for an operating system. Okay, let's get into section 1 then, the subconscious operating system. How does this thing actually work? What are the key metaphors? Well, Murphy gives us a couple of really powerful ones. First, think of the subconscious mind, the SCM, as a genie in a bottle.
Okay, a genie. So it grants wishes.
Sort of, but it follows instructions literally. It doesn't question them. It doesn't judge if your request is good or bad, wise or foolish. It just takes the command and uses, well, this infinite power and wisdom he talks about to carry it out.
Wow, okay. Literal genie. What's the second one?
The second metaphor is the SCM as fertile soil and your conscious mind, your everyday thinking self. You're the gardener.
Oh, I like that. So I plant the seeds.
Precisely. Any seeds, a thought, an idea, an image, a feeling, whatever you consistently plant in that soil, the SEM will nurture it and cause it to grow after its kind. Good seeds, good fruit. Bad seeds.
Bad fruit. Right. That sounds powerful, but also a bit dangerous. If it's fertile soil and a literal genie. What about all those random negative thoughts we have? Fleeting worries, moments of jealousy.
That's a really important point. Are we supposed to be policing every single thought 24/7?
Yeah, sounds exhausting.
Well, Murphy clarifies it's not about every single stray thought. The SCM responds more to your habitual thinking, the dominant ideas, the things you dwell on, feel strongly about, and accept as true.
Okay, so it's the pattern, the conviction,
Yeah,
not just a passing cloud.
Exactly.
It controls all our vital processes, breathing, circulation, day and night, and it's always expressing and reproducing our habitual mental patterns, which brings us right to the core principle, the law of belief. The law of belief. So it's what we believe that matters most.
Yes. And this is crucial. It is not the thing believed in, but the belief in your own mind that brings the result. Say that again. Not the thing believed in, but the belief itself. The subjective conviction within you. It doesn't matter if the object of your belief is, say, a religious relic, a medical procedure, or even something completely made up. If you accept the idea mentally and emotionally.
The subconscious acts on that acceptance.
Precisely. It responds to the thought, the feeling, the inner certainty.
That story about Bernheim's experiment really highlights this, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The mechanical nature of it.
Oh, it's a perfect illustration. This patient had a paralyzed tongue, right? Nothing was working.
Yeah, traditional treatments failed.
So Bernheim brings in what he claims is a revolutionary new healing instrument. But
Yeah.
actually...
It was just a pocket thermometer.
Exactly. But he suggested powerfully that it would heal. The patient accepted this suggestion, believed it. And the subconscious mind, responding purely to that internal belief in healing, boom. The tongue was instantly functional again.
Incredible. The thermometer itself did nothing. It was all the power of suggestion accepted by the conscious mind driving the subconscious.
The conviction was everything. The mechanism is purely internal.
So, if our conscious thought is the action, then the stuff happening in our lives, our conditions, our experiences, that must be the reaction.
That's what Murphy calls the law of action and reaction. Thought is the action. The SCM's automatic response, showing up as your life circumstances, is the reaction. And because it's impartial...
It doesn't care. Good thoughts, good results, bad thoughts.
Bad results. Lack thoughts bring lack. Abundance thoughts bring abundance. Simple as that in theory. Okay, so this impartial, literal servant is always working. Which, frankly, forces us to look at section 2. How do we deal with all the negative programming we soak up every day?
Yeah, that's the challenge. We're constantly swimming in what Murphy called the mass mind. Think about it, global news cycles, social media, maybe negative suggestions from family, friends, the workplace.
Stuff designed to make us feel fearful or inadequate. Control us, maybe?
Often, yes, or just collective anxiety. And when you internalize that, you risk setting up this pattern of, well, self-sabotage.
And the biggest culprits seem to be worry and fear. He calls them mental poisons. Because they aren't just negative thoughts. They're negative thoughts energized with the feeling, the expectation that the bad thing will happen.
So by worrying, you're essentially instructing the genie to bring you the thing you dread.
Exactly. You're actively planting that negative seed, that image, into the fertile soil. And the SCM, being literal and impartial, just goes ahead and reproduces it in your life. Illness, financial trouble, accidents, whatever the fear is.
There's that story about the college teacher.
Yeah.
She was really smart, apparently, but her life was just stuck, full of resentment.
Full of self-condemnation, grievances against her colleagues, her superiors. She was caught in this loop, this rut of negative thinking.
And it was making her sick and blocking her progress.
Absolutely. As the source puts it, that kind of thinking robs you of vitality, of peace. She was, without realizing it, commanding her subconscious to manifest failure and frustration. The only way out was to consciously break that pattern.
Intentionally choose a different thought track, yes, but that leads to another major hurdle Murphy identified. The law of reversed effort. This is where many people get stuck. Reversed effort. So trying harder makes it worse. In a specific way, yes. The law states when your desire or willpower conflicts with your imagination, especially an imagination filled with fear or doubt, the imagination always wins. Okay, unpack that. Desire versus imagination. Think of his analogy. Trying to walk a narrow plank suspended, say, 20 feet in the air. Your conscious desire, your will, is to walk straight and get across safely. Well,
Right.
It makes sense.
But your imagination is probably dominated by the vivid image and feeling of falling, the fear.
Yeah, I could picture that.
And that dominant idea, the fear, the image of falling, overpowers your will. You might try really hard to force yourself to walk straight, clenching your muscle.
Willpower.
But that mental effort often backfires. Trying too hard to compel the subconscious using willpower usually fails. It can even strengthen the negative outcome because you're focusing on the struggle. You need to find the effortless way.
Okay, so brute force doesn't work with the subconscious. We need finesse. Stop fighting, start replacing. How do we neutralize these poisons then? Especially something really corrosive like envy. He offers a couple of clear strategies. First, forget the past. Stop dwelling on past failures, mistakes, or even past successes you feel you've lost. It's like, he says, carrying a heavy iron bar around. It just weighs you down. Focus on the now.
Exactly. Nothing lives but this present moment, this present mood or feeling. That's where your power is. Second, tackle envy head on. He calls it a major stumbling block to wealth.
Because if you're envying someone else's success,
You're implicitly affirming lack in yourself. You're telling your subconscious, they have it, I don't, and focusing on the not having. It's a devastating mental poison.
so what's the antidote? If you see a competitor doing well or a friend getting something you want, the instruction is very specific and immediate. You have to instantly pivot. Mentally affirm something like, isn't that wonderful? I rejoice in their prosperity. I wish them greater and greater success and abundance.
Whoa. So you bless them instead of resenting them? Yes. By genuinely celebrating their good fortune, you neutralize the poison of envy in your own mind. You stop planting lack seeds and, importantly, you align yourself with the principle of abundance. You open your own channel. That's a powerful technique.
Yeah.
Actively replacing the negative with a blessing. Okay, so we've identified the system, dealt with neutralizing the negatives. Now, section 3. How do we proactively use this for riches and success? Murphy talks about needing 3 faculties,
Right.
head, heart, and hand. It's not just about positive thinking or daydreaming. Success requires a synergy.
Okay, break those down. Head.
Head is your conscious mind, your ability to think, plan, reason, choose your goal.
Makes sense. Heart.
Heart is your feeling nature, your subconscious mind. It's where you generate the feeling of the wish fulfilled, the faith, the conviction that it's already yours or on its way. This impresses the idea.
And end.
Hand represents action, taking the necessary steps in the physical world. You can't just impress your subconscious with an idea for $1 million invention and then sit on the couch waiting for a check.
You have to act on the inspiration or the opportunity when it comes.
Exactly. If the subconscious delivers the idea or opens a door, you have to use your head and hands to walk through it, to build it, to do the work.
Like the examples of, say, Bill Gates and Paul Allen actually designing the software, or Colonel Sanders. His story is amazing.
Incredible persistence, right? It wasn't just belief. He faced something like, what was it, over 1,000 rejections.
1,009 rejections for his chicken recipe. That's head, heart, and hand in action. He believed, heart. He had the recipe, head, and he kept knocking on doors.
And that persistence, fueled by the inner conviction, eventually broke through all the limitations, age, lack of capital, everything.
So Murphy actually outlines a sort of 4-step process for career success that combines this inner and outer work.
Yeah, it's quite practical. Step 1 is basically inner work. Focus on improving yourself. Embody qualities like peace, harmony, integrity, goodwill. Become the kind of person who deserves success. Step 2, discover what you genuinely love to do, then do it. Specialize in that field. He argues that loving your work generates the energy and enthusiasm needed.
Okay, find your passion and excel at it.
Yeah.
Step 3 sounds crucial, though. It has to benefit others.
Yes, absolutely essential. Your desire must benefit humanity in some way. It can't be purely selfish, just about hoarding money. There needs to be service, value given. He calls this completing the complete circuit. Give and receive.
Interesting. So a purely selfish goal might short-circuit the process.
That's the implication. It could lead to limitation or even illness because you're damming the flow. And finally, step 4 is the inner visualization piece.
Back to the mental work.
Right. Imagine the end result vividly. See yourself succeeding, maybe mingling happily with colleagues, hearing your boss or clients congratulate you. Feel the reality of it now. Hold that picture until the external reality conforms. Okay, that sets the stage. Now let's give the listener the specific toolkit. The actual techniques Murphy taught for impressing the subconscious, for working with the heart part. Technique number 1, the mental movie. This is pure imagination work. You create a mental scene representing your desire already fulfilled. The key is making it vivid, sensory. See it, hear it, feel it in your mind's eye.
Like that story of the young boy who wanted to be a doctor.
Perfect example. He couldn't afford medical school, so every night for months he'd relax and vividly imagine a medical diploma on his wall with his name clearly engraved on it. He'd touch it, admire it in his mind.
He lived the end result mentally.
Exactly. He sustained that feeling of being a doctor until, as the story goes, a physician took an interest in him and financed his entire education. The subconscious responded to the sustained imaginative act. Powerful. Okay, technique number 2, the thank you technique. This one's really about feeling. It involves making your request or stating your desire, but doing it with immediate praise and thanksgiving, feeling genuinely grateful now as if you've already received it.
Even before there's any physical evidence.
Especially before, like the student who's been promised a car for graduation. Murphy says you should be as thankful and joyous now as you will be when you actually get the keys. That feeling of gratitude aligns you powerfully with the creative forces. A thankful heart is receptive, so gratitude primes the pump, so to speak. Okay, and the final one we'll cover, the lullaby technique. This one seems designed to bypass that reversed effort problem, precisely. It's also called the Baudouin technique. The idea is to minimize effort. You get into a very relaxed, drowsy, sleepy state just before falling asleep or just upon waking up.
When the conscious mind is quiet.
Right. When resistance is low. Then you take your desire and condense it into a short, simple phrase that implies fulfillment, like a mantra or an affirmation, but very brief.
And you just repeat it over and over. Gently, easily like a lullaby, without force or strain. For example, the woman in a prolonged legal battle condensed her desire into just 6 words. It is finished in divine order. It is finished in divine order. Simple.
She just repeated that phrase, feeling the relief and peace of it as she drifted off to sleep. And apparently the lawsuit was resolved harmoniously very quickly after she started doing this.
It's like slipping the idea into the subconscious through a side door when the guard, the conscious mind, is half asleep.
That's a good way to put it. Spiritual osmosis, Murphy called it. Whether you want freedom from a habit, maybe repeating, I am completely free, or financial success, divine order governs my finances, that relaxed, repetitive lullaby method is a gentle but potent way to transfer the idea.
Okay, so bringing this all together, the core message seems to be that you, the individual listener, are the sole thinker in your own universe.
Yeah.
Your consciousness, that union of the conscious gardener and the subconscious soil,
Is the creative center. And your life, your experiences, your destiny, they aren't random. They grow directly out of your habitual beliefs, your dominant thoughts, and particularly the feeling states you consistently entertain.
So there's this immense power, this divine power, as Murphy puts it, right there within you, just waiting to be consciously directed.
Absolutely. He insists the chance of a lifetime isn't some external event you wait for. It's always present within you. You create the chance by setting the right mental and emotional patterns. Which brings us back to that rather stark concept mentioned in the sources: the rich get richer and the poor get poorer.
Mm-hmm.
And Murphy interprets that not as social commentary necessarily, but as a statement about cosmic law. It reflects the consciousness being held.
So a consciousness of lack tends to attract more lack, and a consciousness of abundance attracts more abundance because the subconscious just reproduces the dominant pattern.
That's the idea. The inner state dictates the outer flow.
Okay, that leaves us with a really provocative final thought for you, the listener, to mull over. If your current reality is essentially a mirror reflecting the beliefs and feelings you habitually hold,
And the subconscious mind simply acts on those feelings. Then the question becomes, what kind of consciousness, what feeling state are you predominantly planting in your subconscious soil right now? And maybe more importantly, how quickly can you consciously choose to change that inner climate to shift the flow of abundance in your life? Something definitely worth contemplating.
indeed, until the next deep dive.